20s, Tom played in one of those games involving the Canton Bulldogs. I think you were.
Yeah, I think we won that game.
Yeah, you did. The Jets have a real good chance today, guys. I mean, a real good chance to beat the Patriots.
Yeah, they have a real good chance because there's a team that's careful with the football. And I'll say this, if you go into Foxborough and you don't turn the ball over, they'll win the football game. The last time it happened, Redskins, Steve Spurrier, that was the beginning of this streak.
Absolutely, they're both teams equally matched. The only difference is that the New England Patriots have spent the year so far beating the best that the NFL has to offer. The Jets have spent the beginning of the year beating the worst that the NFL has to offer. That's the only difference.
It's parity. It's parity.
I don't know if that's up to the Jets.
Stop it.
The Jets are doing what they're supposed to do so far to become a championship football team. What do you have to do? You have to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, Steve, and they've done that. Beat the teams that are toss-ups, and they're doing that. Now, today is the final test. You must beat the teams that no one expects you to beat. No one expects you to beat the New England Patriots. Beat this team, and we will consider you part of the elite group.
You know, the Patriots know this, that 5 of the last 6 times the Jets have gone up there, they've won. Admittedly, maybe not this team, but, I mean, pretty close. Jaws alluded to it. Lead the league, least turnovers, best field position.
That's right.
The problem is for New England, well, they're going to have long... The Jets aren't going to beat themselves, but... So New England knows this, and now they adjust accordingly, right? Like, okay, we know we're going to have to drive the ball and nuts, so look for them to come up with something in the fourth quarter again. Should be an outstanding non-turnover game. Coach Ditka, do the Jets have a chance today? What do you think?
Well, they got a chance. They really got a chance, Boomer, if Herm goes into the locker room and he gives them one of these. Hey, fellas, they put their pants on the same way we do. Hey, we got to fight, fight, fight for every inch. And, hey, it's never over till it's over. And I give them one more. On any given Sunday, any team in the NFL can beat any other team. But they have to do certain things. Herm is not going to say that. This football team has Curtis Martin, Chad Pennington. They got a chance. Don't turn the football over. Run the football. They have a chance to win it.
Yeah, they didn't get 5-0 by accident, but of course New England didn't get to 20 in a row by accident either. Randy Moss arriving for the Vikings at home against Tennessee. We'll update that and more when we return.
Everything seems to be going right since the new Eagle landed in Philadelphia. How TL has made Donovan and company unbeatable so far.
Some people feed off confidence. They feed off each other. And if that's what I'm here to do, if that's how they see me as to raise their game to another level, then I'm all for it.
He's 42 years old, the greatest receiver of all time. Now, Jerry Rice is starting all over again with a new team. Steve Young sits down with his former teammate to find out why he refuses to call it quits. And it's been one hard stopper after another for the Jaguars this season. Next up, Manning and the Colts at Peyton's place. Can the Cats avenge their Week 4 loss to Indianapolis? We're live in Indy. Next.
Scent is the strongest sense tied to memory. How will you be remembered? Red Zone Invisible Solid with a controlled release scent system. It's the longest lasting invisible solid from Old Spice. So you smell great all day and all night. Red Zone Invisible Solid in 4 long-lasting scents. Stay in the zone. You can also smell great with new Red Zone body wash and body spray.
There are thousands of people who love what you love.
Countdown, presented by Old Spice Red Zone. Stay in the zone. And in part by eBay. eBay, the power of all of us. And the new M3 Power from Gillette. Feel the power of the world's best shave.
He's got Jimmy Smith. Touchdown! Turns and lost the ball. Touchdown! Touchdown!
Those cardiac cats, the Jacksonville Jaguars, 4-2, 3 times winning in the final ticks. Last week against the Chiefs made even more dramatic by the gimpiness of young starting quarterback Byron Leftwich. They pulled games out of the hat, but can the cat in the hat come back at 4-1 Indianapolis. They might need little cat Voom, as Dr. Seuss would write. Because the Colts, winners of 4 straight and off last week with their bye, are an offensive team that's yet to be stopped. They've scored, 45, 35, 31, and 24 twice. Now, true, one of those 24s was in their tight win at Jacksonville earlier this month, one that included more Jags heroics, but to no avail. To the big horseshoe we go, Ed Werder. Hi, Ed.
Boomer, how are you? There's Byron Leftwich, the Jaguars quarterback, warming up right now. He told me his sprained right ankle remains tender to the touch, but he'll definitely start, and he insists it will not affect his performance today against the Colts. Well, his toughness has already become somewhat legendary. He told me it comes from growing up in the streets of Washington, D.C., playing football there because his neighborhood didn't have any grass playing fields. He told me he was actually hit by cars playing football, not once, but twice. And he said one of the accidents, they ran directly over my right arm, and he laughed and said nobody knew at the time how much that right arm would be worth. Well, it's pretty clear how much it's worth right now. The Jaguars expected to be a team built around the running of Fred Taylor and a strong defense, but in the last 3 games, Leftwich has averaged 43 passes a game. I asked him how much of this game today will be on him, and he said, quote, hopefully all of it. I like it that way. That's when I play my best. Speaking of the best, Peyton Manning leads the NFL's highest scoring offense. I asked defensive tackle Marcus Stroud what the Jaguars' approach will be, Boomer, and he said, show no fear. Don't blink. He said, collapse the pocket around him, make him get happy feet, and maybe he'll throw us the ball.
Well, thank you, Ed. Could be a real fun game. Enjoy it up there. Well,
Who gets run over twice by cars?
You gotta watch yourself.
it's a good thing.
I'm not questioning his toughness.
Good thing that Byron Leftwich, he's grown up to be a quarterback, not a traffic cop, okay?
That's a good thing.
That's a good note by Ed. Wow, hit by, look, not a traffic cop. Mike, Jack Del Rio, the coach of the Jaguars, says Byron Leftwich and Steve Tommies has it. Is it enough today?
Well, I tell you what, Jack Del Rio or Jacksonville better not make the mistake of thinking that it that Byron Leftwich has is the same it that other fellow on the other sideline named Peyton Manning has. What Jacksonville has to do is use Fred Taylor to run the ball, slow this game down, and allow Byron Leftwich and the Jacksonville Jaguars to get late into the game, still close, maybe down by 6, and then let Leftwich do that thing that he has, 45 seconds, a minute left. He can play football in that time to help them win that football game.
The problem for Byron Leftwich is that the whole team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, is not built. They are not built to beat the Indianapolis Colts. They're built in Jack Del Rio was in Baltimore. It's like the Ravens. They want to run the football, play great defense, score 14-17. If that's it, that's going to be it today. And Indianapolis doesn't get it. You can't beat the Colts by scoring 14 to 17 points, Tommy.
17 points, they max out. The it that coaches like about Byron Leftwich is the fact that he protects the football. And what you're watching as the season goes on, Jack Del Rio, a little more rope, a little more rope. At the end of football games, when we need 4 or 5 big plays, this kid will give them to him at the end. But I agree, max out at 17 doesn't work against the Colts because they clearly understand our D is not that good. They come on the field with the idea of, and you said the numbers, we need 24 or more out of the gate. And they play like that offensively.
Shouldn't they run Fred Taylor more? Maybe he has to, because in the first game, the Colts had the ball 24 minutes, they got 24 points. That's the way.
Play great D, run the ball, score 17, and pray.
Reminiscent of one of your great Bills teams, a point a minute. A point a minute.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up. More on the Jags, Colts a little bit later on. A big game in that division. We'll be back.
We're not done with the Jags. Last season they were chopping wood, but they got into a bit of trouble. What's their new mantra? Kenny finds out in the main event. Big problems in Big D. Is it time for the Tuna to make some changes? Mike Ditka tells you what he'd do right now to fix things in Dallas. Next.
This week's Dockers Innovative Play
Day NFL Countdown. Presented by Old Spice Red Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. You like points? Then you love this, a Red Sox-Cardinals special. Saints and Raiders, both teams 2-4. New Orleans has allowed over 30 2 of the last 3 weeks. The Raiders over 30 each of the last 3 weeks, including last week shellacking at home by the Broncos, which has to be one of the true shoddy Raider efforts in recent memory. And then there's Mike Ditka's old quarterback, Kerry Collins, who for the Raiders in 3 starts has personally, just him, turned it over 9 times. Mortimer, maybe some hope for Jim Haslett today, but He hadn't had much lately, has he?
No, that's right, Boomer. And Saints owner Tom Benson is getting married Friday, but there's a lot of speculation that he could divorce Jim Haslett as head coach if New Orleans loses today in Oakland. And sources say the new stadium drive could motivate the owner to fire Haslett if the Saints are 2-5 going into this bye week. But general manager Mickey Loomis denied to me Saturday that he's pushing for Haslett's dismissal, saying he's never seen any good come out of a change in the middle of an NFL season. A source familiar with Haslett's state of mind said that while the coach believes the Saints can rally to win a shaky NFC South, he also has little confidence in Loomis, who publicly promised changes 2 weeks ago. By the way, Loomis will be an usher in Benson's wedding. Hello, Jerry Rice. Goodbye, Corn Robinson. As his appeal is expected to be denied, possibly this week, a 4-game suspension for violation of the league's substance abuse policy awaits Robinson, according to sources. It was Robinson's 3rd positive test, sources said, and this one for marijuana. Speaking of the wacky weed, Ricky Williams skipped Thursday's meeting with the NFL, but his representative David Cornwell made a pitch to the league and union officials that the Dolphins' retired running back should be reinstated immediately because of a flaw in the appeals process of Ricky's 3rd positive test. Sources on all sides now say Williams has little chance to return this season, with one source saying, quote, "We have to enforce the policy. Players make all sorts of crazy arguments. This is nothing new." Bill Parcells isn't blaming Vinny Testaverde as the reason the Cowboys have gone into the tank, but don't be surprised if the tuna starts fishing with Drew Henson in the near future. The success of Ben Roethlisberger, who beat the 2-3 Cowboys last Sunday, has been noted by Parcells, and in order to at least set the table for the 2005 season, in which sources say the Cowboys will be very aggressive in rebuilding the team the way Parcells wants it, Henson will soon get a shot at quarterback. And for everybody having those fantasies about Randy Moss, probably including you too, Boomer, I'll have the news on him as soon as we get it.
Fantasies about Randy Moss. Mort, I'm going to get in touch with my metrosexual self, as Howard Dean would say. Coach Ditka is here with me, and you left a cliche out earlier. I'm disappointed.
Well, I meant to say win one for the giver. There's a lot of coaches around the league that are going to be using that one today. Saints, Raiders, Jets, everybody.
Well, that's a good one. Bears. Yeah, we'll get to them. Surprised you left that out. Look, short leash on Vinny Testaverde for Bill Parcells. You surprised, Coach?
I don't believe it. First of all, I don't think Bill will do that. He understands that Vinny is not the problem right now. And they built the offense. It's built around Vinny right now. They got to throw the ball to win. They're not capable of running the football. They got to throw it, play good defense. Now, if he does pull Vinny, then I think he's admitting they made a mistake, maybe on Quincy Carter, and not going out and getting another quarterback. And also, he's telling that football team on a negative note, hey, we don't have a chance to get to the playoff. Bill Parcells is too good. He's not going to do that. The only way they're going to win is with Vinny, believe me.
Well, speaking of winning, the Bears at 1-4,
yep.
The Bucs at 1-5, haven't done a lot of it. The Bears, of course, offensively now got to come up with something with Quinn in there and Grossman out. But how did John Gruden in 2 years go from Super Bowl coach to a team with just 500 looks like a distant memory?
Well, John's a great coach, but he inherited that football team. What's happened since now? They've lost a lot of leadership. A lot of it, they had let go because of cap reasons. But that's leadership. That's defensive players who could play. This football team is not as good on defense. They cannot run the ball. They cannot threaten you down the field. Brad Johnson was totally ineffective. They're going with a new quarterback. Now, you look at all the changes they're making, and the pressure's on John because basically he's making all the decisions, personnel, coaching, everything. And, people down in Tampa Bay are screaming for him. He's not a different coach. He's the same coach, but they don't have the same horses. They're not going to run the race as well.
Hard to do all that by yourself?
I really believe it is, and I think Mike Holmgren found that out up in Seattle. I just think it's too much. I think you have to have a guy that doesn't always agree with you on that general manager, where you can bounce things off each other and come to the right decision.
Well, the decision for the Bucs is how to start getting a win there at home day against the Bears. Used to be a divisional matchup. Now they don't play that much. We'll see you later.
Okay.
I'll bring my playbook if I need it, and we'll be back.
Will the bye week stuff the Giants' momentum? Or will they whip the Lions and keep their postseason push alive? We're live in the Meadowlands. Next. Sunday Headlines. Brought to you by AT&T Wireless. Experience GSM America. It's our best network ever.
Hello?
If you haven't switched to GSM America from AT&T Wireless, you don't know what you're missing.
Gotta go.
Because now our best network ever is even better with more coverage in more places.
Poor guy.
Right now, buy one Motorola Color Phone for $39.99 and get a second one free.
Glad you called, Dad. Me too. Nice fish.
GSM America from AT&T Wireless. How many bars do you have?
Monday Night Countdown, presented by UPS, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Meanwhile, back from vacation.
E cos'è questo?
Marcello!
Salve. Che cos'è questo?
L'ha ordinato Angelina.
Angelina! Angelina! Che cos'è questo?
È il nuovo sistema di telefoni, papà. Fanno l'inventario, i fogli presenza, possono inviare immagini, messaggi.
That's a 90-minute prime time. 7:30 to 9 Eastern. Once a year, special edition. Tom and I, 90 minutes. Believe me, the game will be in the early going at Fenway when we get done. You're not going to miss much. The 4-1 New York Football Giants, who haven't lost since opening day, swing back into action following their bye. They're home against the 3-2 Detroit Lions. Oddly enough, the Lions, who lost every road game for 3 straight seasons, now they can't lose on the road. They're 2-0. But the Giants haven't lost anywhere. Tiki Barber hadn't fumbled once. He averages 6 yards a carry. Kurt Warner's been picked off only once. 5 wins would surpass last year's win total. That 5 minutes early to a Tom Coughlin meeting, not so bad after all, is it? Never late, our man at the Meadowlands, George Smith. Hi, George.
Well, good morning, Boomer. A crisp fall day here at the Meadowlands. You got to like that good football weather. A rookie wide receiver, Roy Williams, was out on the practice field earlier today talking with Coach Steve Mariucci, testing out his ankle. He is active. We spoke with Coach Mariucci just a little while ago, and he said that he will play. Maybe not a whole game, but he feels pretty good, so he will play. Mariucci also told us that Asa Hakeem will not play, so that's the latest on the Lions. Meantime, on the Giants side of the football, linebacker Barrett Green will not start today. Another little run-in with Tom Coughlin. He missed, or he was late, I should say, to a practice recently, so he will be out of the starting lineup, will play a lot on special teams, but you know, you don't want to be on the bad side of Tom Coughlin. He runs a tight ship. One final word on the bye week. The bye week, the Giants were 4-1 going in, and they had the momentum stopped a little bit. In the past, when they were here with Jim Fossil was the head coach, they were 1-6, not doing so well up in the weeks, I should say, after the bye week. But Coughlin was 5-3 after bye weeks in Jacksonville. Hopefully, he'll bring that here today, Boomer.
Well, he's brought everything else there thus far, George. Enjoy the game. So, Steve, guys, a bye comes. Can the Giants lose momentum? Is that a legitimate thing, even though there's a coach change?
Well, you know what?
Mike?
You know what? It's a funny thing, Boom, because the toughest thing is the game before a bye week and the game after a bye week, because there's so many other distractions going on. You're thinking about planning your little bye week and everything. But Tom Coughlin, he's a very good, disciplined coach. He'll bring the team back to focus, get the focus back on the football field, and know it should not hurt the Giants today.
Well, they never lost focus. You heard they were in pads during the bye week. His record during games following the bye week is 5-3. I think if there's anything that he's brought, and I hate it because we have this inclination toward, well, Jim Fossil never disciplined this football team. I don't think that was true. But whatever it is that Coach Coughlin has brought, he is going to eliminate those distractions. They are as focused now as they were in week 2 and will be in week 10. Same thing.
It might seem like a little bit of minutia that we're talking about the bye week and what it means to the Giants, but I'm telling you, there is a law in football. If you miss a week of football, your offensive choreography and timing goes down, and and Mike Shannon used to tell me, every week you miss is a quarter of football to get it back. So the Giants have 3 quarters today to get it back versus the Detroit Lions, who has 4 quarters. So who do you like today? I like the Giants, but they're going to have to make up for this bye week.
What a fleeting thing that offensive cohesion must be.
It is.
It's such a fleeting thing. You know,
it's all
when we lose a quarter here, when we live, it's a week.
It is a tender thing, Tom.
I guess.
You don't understand. Defensive football, think about what is defense, Boom?
Well,
let's go kill them.
Just run to the ball. Just run to the ball.
What's our choreography? Let's get the guy.
Hey,
What should we do all
I'm
week?
with
Let's
Steve.
throw
I like that formula here.
How do you guys prepare, Tom? You throw darts at the picture of the quarterback?
Exactly.
Let's get him this week.
Exactly.
Let's really pound him.
Exactly.
Did Pythagoras come up with that? Let's see. One week
quarter
equals one week off equals 1 quarter.
2 weeks?
That's pretty.
2 quarters.
Well, it's like jet lag. About 45 minutes a day, and the time zone. Hey, Detroit needs more than 4. They have the worst ranked offense in football. And the second worst run, but let's go, Detroit. Let's move the ball. You have a quarter to do it and get a lead. We'll be back.
Dante Culpepper is having the best season of his career. And there's no doubt he's developed into the kind of leader the Vikings always needed. They say he took a page from the Jordan rules.
It's that old Michael Jordan thing, you know, when the game is tight, you know, give me the ball, give me the ball. Well, Dante didn't learn that, you know, Michael Jordan was just as successful passing the ball.
And Curtis Martin is proving his best playing days are not behind him. Find out how hanging out with Jim Brown and a unique workout has this Jet soaring again.
3-2 Baltimore off a bye returns to action at home against Buffalo, who finally got their first win for new head coach Mike Mularkey last week in a donut fest with Miami, as in Battle of the Windless. The second headline for the Bills, the 100-yard game for Willis McGahee in his first ever start, more than 21 months since his knee surgery. But Travis Henry is healthy. He'll get to start today. Not the case for the Ravens' Jamal Lewis, who sits out the first of 2 straight games of his NFL suspension. Chester Taylor and Musa Smith will get the carries for a Ravens team whose last action was a Sunday night win over the Redskins without the benefit of an offensive touchdown. 3-3 San Diego makes another cross-country trip to the South to take on 1-4 Carolina. The defending NFC champs are already 3.5 games back of Atlanta in their division, and they aren't getting any healthier. The Lightning Bolts, on the other hand, looked at an injury to up-and-coming wideout Riche Caldwell and were able to do something about it. In comes Tampa Bay holdout Keenan McCardell for a 3rd and 6th round draft pick, as well as veteran Bobby Shaw, shanked a week ago by the Bills. One more Charger win will equal last year's entire victory total. Thanks, Boom. And the Eliminator, hey, we all keep going and going and going. Boy, are we hot. Boy, give us
we take chances.
An Eliminator per month.
Unlike the 2 guys next to me, we take no chances.
Oh, what are you talking about?
The Jets were, that's a chance. That was
See me in a month. Not a chance.
49ers.
That was
well, all right, so
on the edge.
Mary, you can't use the team that you've already used, but it's only week 3 and everybody's alive. America, Mort, everybody. Who's a guaranteed winner?
Well, last week I took a chance. This week I will not take a chance, Tom. I'm taking the Denver Broncos at Cincinnati. Why? Because last 12 months I thought the Cincinnati Bengals had some life. They are uninspired right now, Tom.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I'm taking Denver, and I'm taking the Denver Broncos, and I'm telling you why, because Ruben Drone, I looked to see if he was from the University of Miami. I found out he wasn't. I'm taking Denver because of Ruben Drone.
I'm sticking with Denver as well, but it's because I think that Cincinnati's still in that growth process. You had to take a few steps back. They're still in that process. And I think that Mike Shanahan remembers that Corey Dillon... I didn't interrupt.
We'll talk about that later.
That Corey Dillon set that single-game rushing record on him a couple of years ago. Now you've got the Bengals rush defense versus Ruben Jones, who's playing really well.
You guys are all...
He's setting up something for later, Tom. But, Boom, but we got something to talk about.
You guys are all going against a home dog on Monday night. I know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm going with Jerry Rice to catch a touchdown as a member of the Seattle Seahawks, wearing number 80. More on that in a moment. Come on, Seattle. You're going to Arizona.
In Arizona.
It was the one road game they could win last year. They clobbered them. Let's clobber them again. So I'm going with that. I'm going with Seattle. Mort, what do you have?
Well, I love it. The Three Stooges got eliminated a couple weeks ago doing the same thing, all picking the same team. Listen, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Chicago Bears for 2 reasons. I think the Bucs are going to come on strong the second half of the season, and the Bears, they don't know if they're starting Jonathan Quinn or Craig Krenzel at quarterback, Boomer.
Quenzel or
Quenzel?
Well, America, how come America goes against Arizona every week? I don't think John McCain's going to be very happy with this. At any rate, America is on Seattle. We're all alive. When we return, Mort, we'll update that fantasy that he's been having about Randy Moss. We'll tell you if he's in, out, or what. We'll be back.
Adam Archuleta took the football away. Adam Archuleta is on his way to the end zone.
Monday night, the Rams looked like they finally hit their stride. John Madden stops by to tell you what's going on in St. Louis. Countdown's coming back.
The Vikings play the Tennessee Titans. Randy Moss has tested that hamstring. He is active. He will be announced as a starter. That would be 102 regular season starts. At the very least, he will be out there in red zone, so he'll score a touchdown or two. At least that's what Mike Tice, the Vikings coach, is counting on, Boomer.
All right, Mort, thank you very large. Back to you shortly. 2 weeks ago in the fourth quarter in Seattle, the St. Louis Rams season, frankly, was already at the breaking point. But one spectacular comeback, followed by a Monday night home win. The Rams are 4-2. They're back in first place in the NFC West. Today they visit the NFL's only winless team. Oddly enough, Miami. Yes, that Dolphins franchise that once upon a time forged the NFL's only perfect season. Miami has yet to score in the first quarter. They got 3 points combined in the third quarter. I don't think that's going to cut it against the rejuvenated Greatest Show. The Rams have that look again. So says our Sunday soothsayer coach, John Madden.
The Rams once in a while will fall into balance, but they're not a balanced team, run to pass. Mike Martz is a passing coach, and they're going to throw the ball. I mean, they have great receivers. They added 2 young receivers now, and that's what they are. And then you think that they're going to pass, and then they will come and they will get some runs in there. And maybe at the end of the game, maybe they come out close to balanced. Maybe not. I really don't think that he cares, and I don't know how important that is. The big thing with the Rams was that win against Seattle. That comeback, I think, really gave them some momentum. When they knew that they could get behind on the road and just keep throwing the ball and come back and beat the Seattle Seahawks, I think that was a big lift. I mean, that was one of those things that helped them in that game against Seattle, but is going to give them a lot of carryover value. Home field has never won a game in the history of sports. Now, if you have a good team, you can have an advantage when you play at home. But you still have to get out there and play the game. And if you don't get out and if you don't play well, you're going to lose. And that's what's happening, when Green Bay loses, when Tennessee loses, when Kansas City loses. Now, you say, how about home field for New England? Looks pretty good. In fact, if you're a good team, any field looks good. I think that sometimes you can get a role at home field where visiting teams don't like to play there, and it could be an advantage. I mean, that's when, Green Bay had Lambeau Field when they won all those games, but it was still the players that won those games. And then when they diminish a little, they don't get those wins anymore.
Young for Rice. Touchdown.
I think Jerry Rice is going to have a short-term impact for the Seattle Seahawks. It's one of those things that they need receivers. I mean, they lost some receivers. The guys that they have been dropping balls on Hasselbeck, and they need a guy to come in and play and be sure-handed. And Jerry Rice will do that. And you say, well, how about adjusting to the offense? He knows that offense. I mean, he's been around, so long. He knows every offense. But you remember that Mike Holmgren was an assistant with the 49ers when Jerry Rice was a receiver there. So the nomenclature will be close to what he's used to. And it's a game that Jerry Rice has been playing at a very high level for a long time. So I think that it's a great Band-Aid for the Seattle Seahawks. He's going to step in, and he's going to help them right away.
All right, John, thank you. Monday Night Football, John and Al and the gang at ABC at 9 Eastern. The Denver Broncos, 5-1 Denver Broncos at the Bengals. First Monday night home game since 1989. Of course, Monday Night Countdown here on ESPN at 7:30 with all the guys. And we'll be back. 15 games last year saw their defense allow a young quarterback, Byron Leftwich, and the Jags make big play after big play after big play late. And in the end, the Chiefs losing 22-16 as they were torched by Leftwich and Cortez Hankton in that 22-16 loss. Even when the Kansas City Chiefs allow only 22 points, they can't win. Last year, allowing 22 would have meant a Kansas City romp. But today at 1-4, they try to dig in at home at Arrowhead against the 5-1 Atlanta Falcons with a healthy Michael Vick. Atlanta's already won as many games they did all last year. The Chiefs had better be on their toes defensively, thanks to our friends at Staples. Here's playmaking made easy. Guys, what do the Chiefs have to look for today on defense?
Well, it's not only the Chiefs, it's all through the league, Boomer. What we're going to talk about is the two coverage. Everybody in the league plays it. There's two ways to play it, man and zone. Tommy's going to be the cornerback. Steve's going to be the safety, and Michael is the receiver.
That's what I do.
Now, we're getting into the situation. The first one we're going to play, we're playing two-man. This is man-to-man with the safeties playing half the field. Go ahead.
Well, in the man coverage, I can release him outside. I can allow him to get outside and do it quickly because I'm going to get in his hip pocket. I have secondary help from Steve right here. This is actually what people see most times downfield as double coverage by the time the ball is thrown.
Now we're going to talk about two-zone and what has to happen in this now.
Well, I'm the guy who has not only coverage here, but I have corner force against the run as well. So this is my area. I cannot allow him to get an outside release without bumping him. I'm going to try to bump him right here. I'm going to shade him to the outside, make him run through me. If he gets outside, I'm going to slow him down so that Steve, the safety, has time to come over and get that coverage. How often do you see that guy one step late? The other thing I'd really like to make him do is come at me. When he comes at me, I jam. I force him to release inside so that he's a step closer to my safety. Makes that coverage easier for Steve.
And the other thing about this, now Tommy as a corner, if it's zone, he's going to float all the way if he's not threatened in the short flat here. But if the back doesn't come out, he'll float all the way back there and help the safety. Because Steve's got to worry about the tight end going up the seam.
Which is the worst thing in the world, Coach. If that tight end gets a free release, he gets down the field, and I get a free release, and I'm down the field, and the tight end puts pressure on Steve, there is no way Steve can get out of the middle of the field and get to me. It's a completed pass every time.
Yep. Well, that's what basically what's being played around the league. And the thing about it is, all I want to say is, it's important. The most important guy is that cornerback that he plays the right technique.
Well, and what Coach is saying as well is that how often do you see in games today, guys get up and bump and run coverage. They're right in front of a guy, but they don't touch him. You are of no help to the guys behind you.
Best arguments I've ever seen in defense is the safety screaming at the corner.
That's right. That's
do
right.
your job. Really, instead of a coach telling him what to do, the safety should be telling him, because that's the job that really makes him look bad.
That's how I learned it.
All right, we were talking about the fade route, but coming up, we will talk about why my Cowboys keep fading towards the end of a game, so don't go away. That's what I want to know. Why are they fading?
He's taken celebration to new heights. So what does Terrell Owens think about Donovan McNabb's touchdown dance?
The moonwalk, I mean, that was cool. On a scale of, 1 to 5, I said that was about a 3.
Jerry Rice is getting ready to start all over again in Seattle. Steve Young sits down with his former teammate to find out why the future Hall of Famer still believes he's got a lot left in him. And the Jaguars weren't very inspired by a stump and axe last season. And it was dangerous, too.
At first, I thought Coach was trying to get rid of us one by one. But then I realized that's just being paranoid. You hear that?
Jacksonville's new motivational tool is revealed in the main event. Playmaking made easy.
Peyton Manning and the Colts haven't lost since that opening Thursday night, back off the bye, trying to do away with Jacksonville and open up a lead for themselves comfortably in their division. The Patriots and the Jets are the AFC undefeated teams, and in the NFC, it's Philadelphia who's 5-0, with all of its wins, by the way, double digits. Philly's on the road today, but for the Eagles, no problem. They've won 8 in a row on the road. But they're leery going into 3-3 Cleveland because the Browns are 3-0 at home. Jeff Garcia coming off a big 4-touchdown game, the same Jeff Garcia who with the 49ers and with Terrell Owens last season beat the Eagles in Philly in December. This week, the now Philly wideout tried to downplay the rift between him and the now Browns quarterback. T.O. had previously offered up all this when he repeatedly criticized Garcia's playing ability, his leadership skills, and even questioned his sexuality.
I haven't criticized him as of lately. I think everybody's just getting reports from the book. You're the ones that won't let it go. I mean, I've let it go since training camp. Shouldn't even be about me and Jeff. You know what I mean? I just want to come out here and just get ready for the game. I mean, I'm not going to be on the field at the same time he's going to be on the field, so it shouldn't even be about us. I've always told everybody I have no problem with the guy. You know, what I said about him was in the book. You know, I had no reason to lie about it, and it is what it is.
Well, Garcia avoided the issue this week, saying only, I don't know why he can't let it go. T.O. claimed himself it was old news, as you saw, but there are passages in that autobiography about it, and, well, you know. But as for ingratiating himself with his new Philly teammates, many of whom have been to 3 straight NFC title games together, there is no issue whatsoever, which might surprise some of you. Here's Lisa Salters.
I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to come up with something each and every week.
He's creative. You know, he's creative in his game. Some of these things that he's done, not all of them I agree with, but they are very creative.
He did say he liked the pom-pom, so that let me know he was kind of feeling it a little bit.
The Eagles have welcomed Terrell Owens with open arms and minds. They knew what they were getting, a confident and aggressive playmaker.
It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
But they didn't know how contagious T.O.'s confidence would be. Before the Eagles' Week 6 rematch with Carolina, Owens stood up for the Eagles' much-maligned receiving corps that was manhandled by Ricky Manning Jr. and the Panthers' defensive backs in last year's NFC Championship.
I hope Ricky Manning don't come here and think he's just going to push us around this year, because it's not going to happen.
He's a lieutenant general. You know, he said what he had to say, and he stick with his words. What he said was a blessing to me because of the things that I had to go through in that game as far as the last season.
Owens responded with 4 catches for 123 yards and led the Eagles to a 31-8 win over the Panthers.
He took his stand. He said, you know what? You know, I'm a leader on this team. I'm that guy. And you know what? That confidence right there, like, hey,
Next on Fox NFL Sunday, find out if the undefeated Jets are for real as they battle the unbeaten Patriots. Can Brett Favre and the Packers pick up the pieces after a disappointing start? And will Dante Culpepper break Marino's touchdown record? That and more in 2 minutes on the one and only Ford Fox NFL Sunday.
Marino holds the record. Now on pace for 58. Dante Culpepper has a chance to shatter it.
Are you going to be thinking about it?
No, I won't be thinking about it.
Not even a little bit?
Not a little bit. Not a little bit. It's all about the W.
In this week's Quick Hits, can the Ravens offense survive without Jamal Lewis? Will Jerry Rice find happiness up north? And is Jim Mora Jr. still mad at the guys over last week's Michael Vick comments?
Boomer, Shannon, we love you, baby. Keep killing us.
I'll have something to say about that.
Jerome Bettis already has 7 touchdowns this season.
The bus is into the end zone. Touchdown!
The next bus stop is live on our set.
All that and more on the NFL Today.
Avenue Studios here in Midtown Manhattan. We welcome you to a big Week 7 on the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, joined by my partners Dan Marino, Shannon Sharp, Boomer Esiason, and without question, congratulations are in order for Mr. Marino on being nominated this week for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, baby.
Thank you, thank you. I want you to know that I personally, it took me by surprise, but go ahead.
Well, you know, the thing about it is you dream when you're a kid of playing professional football and getting an opportunity to play for the Dolphins 17 years. You never dream about having an opportunity to get in the Hall of Fame, and I'm real excited about it, and it's an honor to have a chance.
We invited? Are we invited? That's all I want to know. Are we invited to come there?
Well, I don't know about you, but you're invited.
All I know is
you're my man.
Listen, call the Ritz-Carlton in Cleveland right now. We're all coming. We can't wait to go there, and I bow to your greatness.
Cleveland's too far away. It's accurate.
Nah, it's only about an hour away. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
Ritz-Carlton. I want to sweep.
Thanks.
Congratulations. We're happy for you.
Thank you, Greg.
Here's today's lineup of regional coverage. In our major game, the Jets and the Patriots, both 5-0, battle for supremacy in the AFC East. In another first-place showdown, the Jags and the Colts vie for leadership of the AFC South. The Titans visit the high-scoring Vikings, the Chargers face the Panthers, and the Bills challenge the Ravens. Now, as for the Titans and the Vikings, Randy Cross is standing by live at the Metrodome. Randy, the big question concerns All-Pro wide receiver Randy Moss, who strained his right hamstring last Sunday night. What's the latest on him?
Well, Greg, when we watched Randy Moss yesterday at the Vikings practice facility, just a walk through about half speed, he was striding. He looked pretty good. In fact, arriving here earlier this morning, he's relaxed, he's ready to go, and there wasn't any question that I think he's going to play today. We went to Mike Tice, the head coach, and asked him. Mike, I have to ask you about the status of Randy Moss.
Well, we'll suit Randy up today, and we don't anticipate him being able to play a lot. I think there are certain situations where he's going to be able to help us, and I think that I don't know that he'll make it through halftime either. But you know, you look at the other options, a younger receiver who didn't really have a great week of practice, and you sit there and say even the energy that Randy can bring suiting up is important to our football team. And again, we'll be very smart about it, as I believe Randy will. But I don't see him doing a whole heck of a lot, but I think there'll be some situations, i.e. inside the 10-yard line, where we'll be able to use them.
Great, thanks, Mike.
Okay, Randy.
Now, as for Tennessee, Greg, there's too many injuries for their team to really list them all here. Let's talk about the guys that'll play that are hurt. Starting halfback Chris Brown got a stinger in his shoulder, but he's going to play. He's going
to run downhill at him. Out of all the numbers the Philadelphia Eagles put up, one that's hidden in all of them is rush against the defense. 4.9 yard average, the worst in the NFL. But teams have fallen behind so far against the Eagles, they've been forced to throw the ball in the air. I think you're going to see the Browns come out and try to control the clock and run downhill at the defense and see if they can withstand the barrage.
Hey, Bill, actually the Eagles are at 5-0. Not much has been said here lately about their offense, which I think is kind of struggling. Maybe this cover two, the Dave Campo, the defensive coordinator for Cleveland, maybe what they're running, maybe that'll help light them up.
Well, you know, the Birds have a way of doing things under Andy, and he'll only show you so much right now. It's still early in the season. He has a whole bunch of different packages he's going to get to, and we haven't seen it yet. And Donovan McNabb hasn't been perfect yet. They've been putting up some good numbers, but he hasn't been perfect. There's a lot more things he can do within the system. You also have L.J. Smith, a tight end, who hasn't gotten the ball much. The majority of the balls have gone to T.O. and to Westbrook, but there's a bunch of other guys out there, and you know Andy Reid's going to find a way to get them the ball.
All right, Bill, thank you so very much. Let's move on to Miami, where the Rams and Dolphins will play. Hey, Baldy, the question is, are the Rams better off giving Steven Jackson more playing time and some suggesting reducing Marshall Faulk's role?
Well, JB, far be it from me to suggest that the Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk should take a seat, and he's not. They're still going to get him in the action, but this kid, Steve Jackson, their first-round pick this year, is just that good. He's big, he's strong, he's explosive. I think by next year he might be one of the top 3 backs in the league, maybe by the end of the season. They're finding a way to get him on the field as much as possible right now and to feature him when he's out there on the field.
All right, Baldy, thank you so much, buddy. To Tampa we go for the Bears and Bucks, and lately it's been bad news for the Bears on offense. J.C. Pearson, how do the Bears, fix their quarterback situation?
Well, they've got a couple options today, JB. But first, Jonathan Quinn, there's no secret that this guy has played very badly, and it's really a confidence issue. He's been throwing the ball all over the place, high, low. He's holding on to the ball too long, and what he's got to do today is trust his own abilities, trust that his wide receivers are going to be where they're supposed to be, and just let the ball go. Go out and play, but this guy's under a lot of pressure. He knows that today he's got to either step up or step out because they gave Craig Krenzel, their 5th-round rookie, 40% of the snaps in practice, and if Quinn doesn't get better, they're going to go to Krenzel. They've also got Chad Hutchinson on the roster, the former Cowboy, but he does not know the system well enough yet. So if Quinn struggles today, look for Craig Krenzel to be in there pretty early.
Playing loose and comfortable sounds like a prescription for success. Thanks, JC. Let's head on now to Kansas City for the Falcons and Chiefs. Tim Green, you spoke with Michael Vick and Jim Mora last night. Why are they struggling so much in the passing game?
Well, JB, you know, this is a team that's 5-1, and everything else is in place. Good defense, good run game. And the real problem in the passing game isn't the short stuff or the intermediate stuff. It's the deep passes. And Mike Vick told me yesterday, he said, I know we've got to start to stretch defenses, but he looks at himself and he feels like he has been waiting too long with his deep pass, relying too much on his arm strength. And this week in practice, he worked on kind of laying the ball out there, getting rid of it earlier, and allowing receivers to run underneath it. He said this week in practice, he got a lot of confidence back in that. Greg Knapp, the coordinator's got more confidence. A lot of people look at Peerless Price and say, is he a #1 receiver? And I think, JB, Last week he made some great catches, and the jury is still out. He may be the answer the Falcons need in the deep passing game.
All right, Mike Vick, a talent, but still a talented work in progress. Thank you, Tim. Let's go to Daryl Johnston, who's at the Meadowlands for the Lions and Giants. Moose, quickly, what's the latest on Roy Williams, in or out?
He's going to be active today, JB, and he will be introduced as the starter, but how productive he is on the field, we're not going to be quite sure, and that's going to be critical for the Lions, because last week against Green Last week, they just shut him down, took everything else away, put the game in Joey Harrington's hands. The running game has been unproductive, so you're talking about forcing a team to be one-dimensional. If they lose Roy Williams, they really lose their entire offense.
Moose, tell me this is not what I heard. I have heard that Saragusa, who criticized Joey Harrington, called him a champagne and caviar quarterback, actually went in and smooched and made up with this quarterback. Tell me this big, huge, bad defensive tackle who jumped my case about the coach of the Giants for me kissing her. Tell me this isn't true.
We can't confirm the smooch, but I'm going to let him talk to you about it.
What's the matter with you? I hear everything you're saying there. What do you think? I don't listen to you guys? Hey, listen, the guy brought me 5 gallons of beer. We sat down, we cracked one. He's headed in the right direction, Terry.
Now he's headed in the right direction.
By the way, Coach Coughlin,
you are amazing.
Hey, listen, Coach Coughlin wants to know if you're on for Wednesday night dinner at his house.
Hey, Moose and Tony, thank you guys so very much. As a matter of fact, Terry has been backpedaling now. Hey, later today in part 2 of our football doubleheader, most of you will see Cowboys. Cardinals. Speaking of the Cardinals, the baseball Redbirds got off to a bad start last night in the World Series. Fenway Park was the site of Game 1, and long-suffering Red Sox fans didn't have to wait long for some runs. In the first, Big Poppy David Ortiz says, "Who's your Poppy?" and hits this 3-run blast. That put the Sox up early. However, late-season pickup Larry Walker picked up the Cardinals with this homer that cut the Sox lead in half to 4-2. And just when you thought the curse might have been reversed, a huge Manny Ramirez error right here and left showed the Red Sox that at times they are still the Red Sox. But that blunder tied the game, but then in the bottom of the 8th, Mark Bellhorn, big fly that hits the pole. The Sox go up 11-9 and hold on to win a wild shootout. The Red Sox go up 1-0 in the series. So, later tonight, Game 2 right here on Fox. Matt Morris goes up against Curt Schilling. It's a red October indeed as the Redbirds battle the Sox. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. Time now for State Farm to...
Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, providing insurance and financial services.
JB, a lot of people may disagree with Tom Coughlin's rules and regulations.
I disagree with him, Jimmy.
But let me tell you this. We all agree on one thing. He understands field position football. In the NFL, you're going to score points if you get the ball close to the goal line. You get it back here on the 20, you're not going to score a whole lot of points. And how you improve field position, turnovers, and kicking game. The kicking game has been horrible for the Giants the last few years. This year, it's a strength. Turnovers. Well, Tiki Barber.
What's the #1 thing he wanted to do when he got in there?
You got to get the hole in the football.
Right.
Tiki Barber.
So Tiki Barber had problems.
34 fumbles last 4 years.
Now, we talk about Tiki Barber and why...
None of our players took the call.
The placement, the kick on the way, floating towards the uprights. It is good! Handoff, Curtis Martin running left. Cuts it back at the 5. Touchdown, Jets! And the Jets with their first ever 5-0 start.
We have confidence that no matter what the outcome of the game is, early, later, in between, we always feel that we have a way to come back and win the game.
For more, go to NFL.com, your official source for NFL news.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NFL Today. Just how special is today's Jets-Patriots clash? Well, this is the first time in more than 3 decades that 2 NFL teams with perfect records of 5-0 or better go head-to-head, as they will in this afternoon's main event.
All right, fight fans, here we go with the battle of the unbeatens. Entering the ring wearing green and white with an impressive record of 5 wins, no defeats. Introducing the New York Jets. And and their opponents wearing red, white, and blue, with an unbelievable 20 consecutive victories, all coming by way of knockout, the reigning Super Bowl champions, the New England Patriots.
With us and the Jets, it doesn't matter what the record is, really. It's a battle. You know, it's going to be won in the fourth quarter, and it's going to be a close game every time we play them.
It's a five-star game. You got two division rivals who are undefeated playing each other as undefeated teams. You know, it's been a long, long time since that's happened.
We're fighting for first place in the division, so I think everybody's going to be pretty much, you know, geeked up and emotions going to be flying out there. So I think it's going to be a tough 60 minutes for both ball clubs.
Shake your body, body, move your body, body, in this body, body, don't hurt no.
The pass rush for me, I know it's going to be tough. Our big thing is just try to contain Brady and try to hold Corey Dillon now.
We never can take these guys lightly. I mean, they're coached well. Pennington is on fire. Curtis Martin is running like the Curtis Martin of old, you know, the guy that I used to play with.
They know how to win games. They really do. And that's a tribute to their players.
The Patriots recover. It is Richard Seymour running to the end zone. Unbelievable.
When it's crunch time, when it's tight, they're going to make the play at the end to win it. And you have to be able to do that if you're going to win 20 in a row.
Everyone's ready to take us down, and we know that, we feel that. It's the best team we played all year, you know, so them being 5-0, they proved they could win some close games, and we got our hands full.
Anytime you try to measure yourself as a team, you want to play the best, and right now, New England is the best.
The onus isn't on them. The onus is on the team coming in to beat them, and, you know, that's the burden that we bear this week.
Running out of fingers and toes.
I don't care. I don't care about the streak. I don't care anymore. You know, it's been talked about and publicized. You know, I want to beat the Jets. I want to beat the Jets, and that's all I want to do.
Someone's O's got to go.
You know, Boomer just mentioned, if you're a Bill Belichick player, you better not say the wrong thing the week before a game. You know, these guys have won 20 in a row. They're defending Super Bowl champions. You're the Jets. You're going to their place to play them. What's your biggest concern?
Well, if I was concerned for the Jets and what they're doing offensively, basically would be their big play capability, guys. I mean, their backs are their two leading receivers in Sol and Curtis Martin. If you go into a place like New England and you can't make the big play down the field, that's a concern. Pennington, 70% as far as completion rate, but he's dumping it off. And an alarming thing, guys, is none of their wide receivers have touchdowns. Can't win in New England if your wide
10 touchdowns amongst their wide receivers. And you, like you said, Dan, they don't do a great job of pushing the ball down the field. Everything is 5 and 6 yards. So I think the Patriots are going to sit on everything short, going to put pressure on Chad Pennington. And like the piece said, they are the undisputed heavyweight champs. You have to knock them out. Don't go in there and try to play a close ball game and try to win it on a field goal late. Go in there with the intent on knocking these guys out.
Well, simply said, you know, 14 straight wins at home the Patriots have. The last team that beat them there were these New York Jets. You can't turn the ball over when you go to New England. They have 40 turnovers in those 14 games. They've only turned it over 15 times. Listen, I don't think Curtis Martin's going to fumble. I doubt that Chad Pennington's going to throw an interception. But Lamont Jordan, maybe Santana Moss, somebody fumbles it on special teams. That's where the Jets lose this football game. And I know
you can't throw an interception on a 2-yard route. Well, Chad Pennington only throws 2 yards, screen, whoop, behind the line of scrimmage, 2 yards.
But if there are two players that I put the hat on in this game for the New York Jets, it's got to be John Abraham and it's got to be Sean Ellis. Those guys have got to get pressure on Tom Brady. When they go to those 5 wide receiver, you know, formations, they spread everybody out. You got to get pressure on him. You can't let him sit back.
Well, they've only given up 6.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I do like New England in this game. I really do.
Shannon?
I love New England.
I like New England too.
Yeah, although
I think it's going to be a close one.
Problems that you've been pointing out the Jets have. Let's recognize they've done some things right so far this season.
Oh, sure they have. You don't take anything away from Herb Edwards and his guys. I'll tell you that right now.
All right, this brings us to today's Nextel NFL on CBS Bowl. Question: who's going to win the AFC East this season? Patriots or the Jets?
Is that a trick question?
The Bills and the Dolphins are also possible choices in the event emotion overcomes logic.
The Bills and the Dolphins out of there, Greg.
Cast your vote at CBSSportsline.com/Nextel. We'll post the results for you at
halftime.
halftime.
The NFC East.
Coming up next on the NFL Today, Atlanta head coach Jim Mora reacts to our guys' criticism of Michael Vick.
Boomer, Shannon, we love you, baby. Keep killing us. We'll take it.
Does this change Shannon and Boomer's minds about Michael Vick? Quick hits are next.
After losing only 3 games last season. The
Despite their woes, they can always rely on Priest Holmes. It's the Falcons at Chiefs coming up at the top of the hour. But up next, Frank's picks, Jillian's weather, and Howie Long on why the Jets are 5-0.
30-9. We do it once a year. Don't worry, it'll be early in the ball game. Come watch Tommy and I. We'll show you everything in Week 7, including the Battle of the Unbeatens. Join us then. The Dallas Cowboys are the Green Bay Packers. Can you even say this without thinking of the Ice Bowl? NFL Championship Game 1967. Bart Starr behind Jerry Kramer and Ken Bowman. The Packers over the Cowboys. Vince Lombardi over Tom Landry. On a day, as the late John Facenda once narrated, and this was the best, on a day that was better suited for the defense of Stalingrad. Today, the Tundra is not, Today, the Tundra is not yet frozen, but the Packers sure are at Lambeau. They're frozen. They're 0-3 at home in a confounding season. The Cowboys are also below 500 in their own confounding season. So confounding for Bill Parcells that they can't finish what they started. As Ed Werder reports, Exhibit A, last week's late fumble against the Steelers by Vinny Testaverde.
Penny under center. 3rd and 13 at the Pittsburgh 47. Steelers show blitz. Here they come. They hit him. Oh, Pittsburgh has it.
Against the Steelers, Bill Parcells watched with disbelief as the Cowboys became just the 3rd team in his 17 seasons of coaching to blow a double-digit lead in the 4th quarter while losing at home. This particular failure took an unusual form. Needing to make just one 4th quarter play, Vinny Testaverde fumbled when nudged by Richie Anderson. The result was a game-changing turnover.
This 3rd down play here, tell me it was an accident. It really, that's what it was.
What happened on that last play to us, you don't ever think is going to happen because it doesn't happen in practice. It's really a fluke thing.
That happens in the NFL. That happens. That's football. So, I mean, we got to move past that now and try to concentrate on the games we have left and get better.
There have been other 4th quarter blunders. 2 fumbles in a scoreless final period against the Vikings, and Parcells' admittedly bad 4th and 1 gamble in a home loss to the Giants. They highlight a disturbing trend. Uncharacteristic of a Parcells coach team, the Cowboys have been outscored 34-0 in the 4th quarter of their defeats.
Taylor, with Jamal Lewis serving a 2-game suspension. The 3rd-year running back from Toledo makes his 4th career start against the Buffalo Bills as we welcome back live.
1:30 p.m. Eastern to vote for the Fans fantasy team. Just text message the word play to 63504 or log on to foxsports.com on MSN. You can win a trip to the Super Bowl and hang with the guys in Jacksonville just for playing. So from fantasy picks to Frank's picks, believe it or not, this past week there was a 4th presidential debate, and the moderator was a well-known sports figure. Here's some highlights.
Welcome to the greatest, most incredible, indelible, inedible presidential debate ever. First, the hot air gale from Yale, John Kerry. And the often hesitant president, the dub-dub, the rubber-dub-dub, and the rubby-dub, and the dub-dub-w.
Howdy, America.
Now, who is America's team? President Bush? Why the Cowboys, baby?
2 words. Texas. It's the best state in the Confederacy, you know. The Cowboys are American as you can get, you know.
Well, Mr. King, I thought it was the Cowboys, too, before I thought it wasn't the Cowboys. The Packers are truly America's team because, well, they play at beautiful Lambert Field in Wisconsin, a crucial, beautiful swing state that I would like to pander to right now for votes. I love cheese.
Are you saying I don't like cheese? Yeah. Cowboys fans like cheese, just like the Wisconsinonianites, you know? Swiss cheese, string cheese. Most of all, we love American cheese.
And mac and cheese, too. Absolutely, positively. So, Senator Kerry, are you, in fact, indeed saying that the Packers are, in fact, America's team?
Absolutely. Unless, of course, you're a Eagles, Steelers, or Browns, or Bengals, or Vikings fan.
He's just flop-flipping again.
The word is flip-flop, in case you were wondering, but I don't think of myself as a flip-flopper. I think of myself as nuanced.
Nuanced. Now he's just making words up.
Quickly, baby, give me 2 football picks and go.
I will take the Vikings and the Eagles, whose states represent 31 electoral votes that I desperately need.
Unbelievable. This flipper didn't even take the Packers. I take the Cowboys. I'm an upset pick is the Bengals.
Now back to JB, another successful black man who has to share the stage with 2 dumb white guys.
Now, he said 2. What 2 is this?
That's
1, 2, 3. That was excellent, by the way. Guys, many thanks to Matt.
Frank, that's good. Keep it up.
Hey, many thanks to Mad TV co-stars Aries Spears and Michael McDonald. It was excellent for their help in that piece. And now, you know what? Jillian Barberie is in a TV show, Quintuplets on Fox.
Yes.
She went to
this year. Enough. I've had it. This is it. I'm done. So this is a huge game for them today.
It's only not even. He's not even there 2 years. You already think he's going to quit.
I don't know. You know, he puts a lot of time and effort. He's done it before now.
All right, guys. Shannon, what's Jim Haslett, the head coach of the Saints? What's his future in New Orleans?
Greg is not looking very well right now because they're on the road today. They play the Raiders. Now, if they lose this ball game, I'm hearing that he might be fired Monday or Tuesday. Jim, if you have some friends coming down from Mardi Gras, hold off, because I don't know if you're going to be there to entertain them.
No problem there. Good guy.
I'm not saying it.
Problems.
One final quick hit. Last week, Shannon and Boomer had a few critical things to say about Atlanta quarterback Michael Vick. So did Falcons head coach Jim Mora like that advice?
Boomer, Shannon, we love you, baby. Keep killing us. We'll take it. Who cares what they think? All I care about is we're 5-1, and they're sitting in a booth somewhere. It ain't the critic that counts. Criticize us. We love it. Pour it on. Bring it. We couldn't care less.
Sounds like an open invitation.
This is the problem that I have. When things go well, when Michael Vick or Mike Vick, however he wants to be addressed, plays well, oh, he's great. He's been Michael Vick. But when he doesn't play well, it's the West Coast system. He's only been a starter for 3 years. You have to accept the adulation along with the criticism. We're not saying that you're a bad player, but to say you're a great player when you've only played 3 years, I just don't see it.
Well, I would say, listen, his last 10 starts, the guy's 8-2.
Right,
okay,
fine,
so he's
fine.
doing something right.
What about the first 10 starts?
He's been winning. I mean, we took him to the
my
playoffs.
problem is with Jim Mora. I mean, last year I sat on this desk and said he would be the greatest, new head coach in the NFL, that if I were an owner, that I would interview him and hire him, and I never got a thank you note. And this is the kind of thanks I get a year later?
And in my CBS contract, it did not say anything I'm supposed to be a hype machine for Michael Vick.
That's right. And I agree. That's right.
I call it like I see it.
Jim Mora, listen, these two guys just say things to get their names in the paper. You're winning, you're 5-1, don't worry about that.
Still ahead on the NFL today. Thurston Long takes the Punt TV pregame show on the road to Foxborough. Meanwhile, the bus stops here. Steelers running back Jerome Bettis, our special guest. And up next, Dan Hooks with the Vikings quarterback, Dante.
Here has given me any more confidence.
I've never heard a coach tell his team, don't be embarrassed about being 5-0.
That's kind of important around here, because if you read into what everyone says, obviously you'll think that we're 0-5.
Offensive play of the season, and the 49ers with a great start against the Jets.
Last week, the group comes out flat versus San Francisco. You have what is been described as an animated conversation with the football team at halftime.
Yeah, I'm playing with professionals. I'm playing with veterans that have had much more experience than I have, and they know how to get themselves ready. But I think at some point in time, you have to have the quarterback stand up and say, guys, we're not playing to our expectations. This is not our standard.
He laid it out to him, and it was very, very simple. Not about what they're trying to do, it's about what we need to do.
In Kevin Mawai's case, it's what game officials said he needed to stop doing.
A lot's been made of the infamous straight right. I looked at it on film,
and I sure didn't see anything wrong with it.
2 plays later, I thought when you had him on the ground and you were giving him, as they say, the proverbial
I gave
business.
him the business. That's right. You know, it's like, you didn't like this play. Let's see if you like this one.
You play offensive line like a defensive line.
When I'm on a sweep or I'm pulling around the corner, I'm not looking out there just to block anybody. I'm looking out there to destroy somebody.
And more often than not, the beneficiary is Curtis Martin, who's on a mission to rush for his 10th straight 1,000-yard season, a feat matched only by Barry Sanders.
He's in a world of his own when the game's going on. When you try to talk to him, it's almost like he hears you, he looks at you, but he's really not paying attention. He's got his own deal.
You and I are captains. We're in the neighborhood schoolyard. We're picking teams.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got the first pick. Do you take Curtis Martin or do you take Chad Pennington?
Take Curtis Martin, without a doubt.
It's an offensive lineman talking.
So,
sure.
I mean, he makes the job easy for us. I don't have to hold the block for 3 seconds. I just got to get in front of somebody, and Curtis will make the guy miss.
That'll be a tall order today against a Patriots defense that seems to confound every offense it plays.
They show you a million different looks, but at the same time, they do a great job of disguising and showing looks that after the snap of the ball, it's not really what you see.
They play together, and that's what you try to emulate as a coach, the team you'd like to try to create.
Who was the last team to beat the Patriots in Foxborough?
New York Jets.
Okay. Under who?
I happened to be the coach that night.
You know, it's interesting, guys. There's a contrast in quarterbacks and there's a contrast in head coaches. The perception is that Herman Edwards is a loosey-goosey guy. Since 2001, the team with the least amount of turnovers and the least amount of penalties are who? The New York Jets. Chad Pennington doesn't turn the ball over. 31 red zone touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That will be tested today versus this New England defense.
Yeah, I think the Jets really got a shot. You know, they play very well in New England. On top of that, Curtis Martin has been a warrior this entire season, and they get a big boost from an old Miami Hurricane today, Santana Moss. A couple of big plays from Santana Moss and a couple of turnovers. They got a chance to win this game.
You couldn't wait to throw that Miami thing.
I don't think they'll win, though. I think New England wins.
I'm 100% sure that New England will lose this game and their next game. I was also 100% sure that my third marriage would not end up in divorce, which it did. But in this game, that's a funny line, by the way. In this game with Santana Moss back,
how you figure?
I don't know. With Santana Moss back and with the fact that the Jets like to throw to their backs out of the backfield, if I played this game, do it the unconventional way. Throw the football 8 or 10 times deep. Post routes, post ends off the backside, and test these New England Patriots deep. I know nobody has done it because they don't think they can do it, but you have to do something that the computer says this team never does.
Well, that's not what Chad Pennington does physically.
But he can, though, Howie. He can do it.
Well, he doesn't have the classic big arm. You don't see Dante Culpepper. You and I talked about Dante Culpepper. He waits for routes to develop. Chad is a timing.
Well, you don't have to with Santana Moss, so you've got to get it deep because that's what his strength is.
So what Terry said is he was 100% sure in his third marriage as well. Well, as Jimmy mentioned, the Jets get a lift today with the return of Santana Moss. But as we check out the WebMD injury report, another wide receiver named Moss is banged up. The Vikings' Randy Moss pulled his hamstring last week against the Saints. But late word from Minnesota is that he will play today. Our NFL insider Jake Glazer will have more on that. Moss has yet to miss a game in his career. A reminder, you can check your own symptoms at symptom.webmd.com. Randy Moss is quick and brash, and so is our NFL Rapid Fire section. But up next, should Jerry Rice have asked Steve Largent to unretire his number? Jerry will wear number 80 today. Will the Pack get back into the playoff picture? And is there a black hole at quarterback in Oakland? And speaking of the Raiders, Warren Sapp is today's victim in 10 yards with our own Terry Bradshaw.
The Hawaiian Coast.
I flew all the way up here, and I got to know, are you going to throw 48 touchdowns? Because I have to know, man.
Well, you know, I don't know. We're taking it 1 week at a time, and hopefully, you know, whatever it takes to win.
You know, the year that I threw 48 touchdowns, it kind of just happened, and I think that's probably, you know, going to be the case with you because the important thing is winning football games, true?
Absolutely. That's the bottom line. And the guys, you know, the receivers, I mean, I can't say enough about those guys. They're making plays up and down the field. The offensive linemen, where it always starts, they're playing tremendous for us, and it makes it that much easier for me.
So is there one thing you can point to that really has made this offense have such a fast start?
I think it's just our focus.
You can say it's you.
No, I ain't gonna say it's me. I won't say it's me because it's not me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a part of it. I'm gonna do my part.
Oh, I know.
I think it's our focus. Our focus, we're focused, and we get prepared every week to go out and be the best we can be.
Okay, I gotta know, you gonna throw 48 touchdowns? You have the ultimate playmaker, Randy Moss. How much has Marcus Robinson helped this offense?
Well, Marcus is he's a tremendous player, and when I heard that he was coming here, you know, I figured, I mean, teams are what are they going to do? They're going to double and triple Randy and let Marcus have a field day. You know, we keep teams honest, you know, with him on the other side, and he's a great addition to this offense.
Where did you get the, you know, get your roll on thing?
Well,
honestly, tell us about it.
The truth about it is a dance that my boys, they had a song called "Get Your Roll On."
Everybody, get your roll on. Everybody, get your roll on.
Basically, it just means, you know, having a good time, taking care of your business, and enjoying it while you're doing it. It's all fun, and it's just a celebration that, you know, we do to get hyped up.
So my kids wanted me to tell you that I should, because they're big fans, that I should brush your shoulder off.
Oh, clean.
Okay.
Get the dust off my shoulders, for sure. For sure. Tell them I said thank you. I got to
all
keep
right,
that
so
dirt
listen,
off.
if you throw 48, okay, I'll come back up here and we'll both get our roll on, all right?
Okay,
Is
for
that
sure.
cool?
That's
All
good.
right, man.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep.
Well, Dante Culpepper is having all kind of fun in this offense. Yeah, dust my shoulder off there. He's having all kind of fun in this offense. When I talked to Mike Tice, he said he's showing a ton of maturity, and that's what you need when he's doing offensively. The big thing, guys, is he's not turning the ball over, and that's a difference this year in Dante Culpepper.
Not that you care, but how many times did you ask him if he can break?
4. They edited it 4 times. I couldn't get him to change his mind. You know, he's just thinking about winning football games.
Schedule favors him, doesn't it?
There's no doubt. You know, he plays of 11 games, 8 of them in the Dome, so he's not going to get any bad weather games. And defensively, they're not.
Tried to gamble, and Troy threw it in there with a lot of velocity. And Teddy Ginn, tell you what, he's
looking like Gamble with that 7 on his back.
Yeah, even faster maybe.
Definitely, and he gets the crowd sparked and into this one. The players talked about it afterwards. That was a big difference.
No doubt. You know, we came out, and the defense came out excited, and they tried the middle screen that had little jailbreak screen that had hurt us with some other teams, and our guys sniffed it out and went after it, and put a lot of pressure. Mike Kudla, I really thought Mike Kudla, just from where I stood, you know, was making a difference in there, and bringing that speed and power that we had all hoped for.
He was wreaking some havoc in the interior line there and chasing down quarterbacks. Antonio Pittman talked about wreaking havoc. Here he gets loose.
Well, you know, Antonio likes running, especially out of that one-back look where they're all spread out, and he finds places, and Troy Smith finds Santonio Holmes. Again, he had good protection, and we're down there, you know, into the red zone and inside the 10.
Yeah, you got one-on-one there, so you take advantage of it.
Absolutely, and Troy did a good job of finding the open guy, and there he found Santonio for the touchdown, and 14-0 was a good way to start.
Yeah, 2 drives, 2 scores.
That was huge for us.
That's the way you draw it up, and the D right back at it again.
You know, we missed the hit right there. It would have been a -2, and again, I think this is that Roby kid that's the leading receiver in the history of their school, and he's a good player, and he made us miss, and they moved the ball down the field, and to their credit, they made the plays they needed to put together a good drive.
And that's where the first quarter ends at 14-7 on the board. It's Troy Smith throwing again. Nice grab by Roy Hall.
Good job by Roy there coming up with the play and moving the chains a little bit, and we go back inside, and Mo Hall did a good job of coming around and running to daylight, and you know, Mo Hall is always there for you. You really got to appreciate him.
21 yards worth of appreciation for that, and then Pittman again, 12 yards coming wide left.
He's got excellent lateral movement, good vision, and moved it down the field for us, and Mike Nugent banged a chip shot through.
Yeah, 29 yards for Nugent. It's 17-7 on the board. Ohio State in front. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis has nowhere to go on the pitch. Dustin Fox right there.
They had that little shovel pass option, and our guys were all over it. Good job by Tyler Everett there on the play, and again, we're breaking on the ball, and we're skidding on our heels. You know, defense is getting after them.
5 yards on the completion. Back to offense now, and 20 yards picked up on this play as Troy Smith fires to Santonio Holmes.
Well, good job by Santonio driving the man off, and they were trying to bump and run him a little bit, so we had to throw deep, and he ran a deep comeback, and here you see Troy stepping up, and he did a good job of not throwing the ball when there was nothing there, and stepped up enough for Mike Nugent to bang through another chip shot for him, a 52-yard chip shot.
Yeah, 52 through the uprights, nothing to it. Day at the office, 20-7, Ohio State there. Nuge is solid again. Big hit here by Nate Sally.
Nate Sally will hit you, and he did a great job of staying on his hash, and they threw it up, and they paid for it.
And that was their star receiver. And
Simon Frazier there batted that ball down, and Anthony Schlegel almost picked it off. Here we are on a blitz. Ashton Yabodi coming. Michael Kudla coming and making the play, and our guys are putting good pressure there. Simon Frazier, Bobby Carpenter.
Getting the job done is what they're doing to close out the half. And you go in with that lead. You keep them off the board. They had a little drive going there at the end of halftime, so important to stop that and hold serve there. But Troy comes out throwing 1st and 10 and throwing deep as well to stretch things out a little bit. Gaining yardage on 1st down has been important for a while, and getting it important.
Well, it has, and we had a couple of those early 1st down home runs that if we'd have just connected, it would have really made a huge difference. But, you know, Troy was excited about playing, and the one thing I was a little bit nervous about is that when we went for the home run, he was going to really crank it and overthrow it a little bit. But, you know, we always say we don't want it underthrown. And you know, obtain the balance that we started having today, we got a chance.
Well, he's juiced up for the game, so a little overthrow here or there you can. Now, the other side of it is on 1st and 10 when you throw deep. I mean, when they fall incomplete, then you're 2nd and 10, and that's the problem you want to stay away from.
Yep, no question. I thought our balance, I think in the 1st half it was something like 8 runs, 6 pass on 1st downs and something like that. We'd like to be balanced, and when we call those 6 passes, we'd like to hit at least 4 of them.
Yeah, balanced except on the scoreboard. The Bucs go to the break. We're back with 2nd half highlights right after this.
Returns.
Absolutely. I never have been sold on Tom Rosley as the offensive coordinator. If anything, I let Brett Favre call these plays because Brett, in the last few years of his future in the NFL, is as good as there is at throwing the football and threatening safeties and corners deep. And I think Mike Sherman did a great job last week, and I would continue doing it, and I would not give it back to Rosley.
Is that kind of like Back to the Future?
Oh, yeah, and then throwing the ball, he said calling the plays. The coach should call the plays.
He went overtime. So let me go to Howie. Howie, in Dallas, some people are looking at Vinny Testaverde saying he's over the hill. The question is he the problem?
No, Vinny's not the problem. The lack of a running game, and in particular their defense, has gone from 1st to 15th, and some of that's a byproduct of who they played. Minnesota lit them up earlier in the year. They played a resurgent Giants team, and Pittsburgh came in there last week and outplayed them. They're getting outscored in the 4th quarter in the last 2 games, 27-0. They're not making the plays they made last year. But this is a team that can make some headway in the latter part of the season.
They can get better because of their schedule the next couple of weeks.
All right, speaking of getting better, Jimmy, in Oakland, it was thought that Kerry Collins would be a perfect fit. He's struggling big time. Is he still the right choice?
He's going to have to protect the ball better. You know, he's had 19 turnovers his last 8 starts. And I think, you know, he can operate the offense. He can throw the football. He can be vertical down the field, on and on. But if he doesn't stop turning the ball over, they're going to have to find a new quarterback.
There's a kid on the bench that can play. This kid's out of Washington. What,
he may get his shot.
Put him in there.
Let me go back to Jimmy. You know that Jerry Rice, of course, went from Oakland to Seattle. Then Jerry Rice asked Steve Largent if he could unretire his number 80 to wear. Jerry Rice, right or wrong?
Well, I hope. Now, there's conflicting reports who asked Largent for the number. I hope Jerry Rice didn't call him, just for his little short cup of coffee while he's in Seattle. You know, they're both great players, but that jersey was retired. It should stay retired. Let him wear about 18, 19, whatever number for his short term in Seattle.
Whoever asked Steve Largent to unretire, whether it's wrong. I played against Steve Largent.
I have no problem with that. I would be honored if someone wanted to wear my jersey in Pittsburgh. Just hadn't happened yet.
Atlanta, Howie is 5-1. The next closest competitor, New Orleans, at 2-4. Will Atlanta cruise into the playoffs?
Well, I think if they do cruise, it will be a byproduct of probably the most disappointing division in football. You look at Carolina, you look at Tampa Bay, you look at New Orleans. These are football teams that had a lot of talent. Carolina was in the Super Bowl last year. And if you had told the Atlanta Falcons they'd be 5-1 before the season, and Michael Vick...
This marketing grad and basketball legend would become a Big Ten MVP, NBA standout, TV star, and later a member of the Ohio State Athletic Hall of Fame. His reasons for becoming an alum...
Or listen to another T.O. rant about Jeff Garcia.
and Indiana. And, Coach, as you go to half, you look at the drive sequences. When you can put points on the board in 4 out of the first 5 drives that you touch the ball, that's showing some consistency. Longevity of drives good as well.
And good for the defense, and obviously the special teams did their part there. I thought our punt game, their return games were excellent, and I think we only had one, in fact, it'll be in the second half, where we let them out a little bit on the kickoff return. But your special teams give you a chance to have field position, which gives you a chance to keep the ball out of the defense's lap.
All right, we get back to second half action here, and of course the 2004 crown there for a king. And look, he's wearing the scarlet and gray there. Chibundu Nake.
Nake's out there, and I don't know that his teammates knew that at that point. They would have done a better job covering this kickoff maybe if we'd have, because we let him out there to the, I think, nearly midfield or wherever, and that's just not the way to start second half when we're only up by 13.
A big return out there, and trying to get things started on offense, but that D not going away, Bobby Carpenter.
Good job on the turnover, and I think we won the turnover margin, what, 2-1 or thereabouts, and that was huge, turning them away.
Now you go on offense, and Troy Smith once again, and he's got time. He's got time all day.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the key to the passing game is pass protection. We happened to leave the tight end and one back in on that play, and Santonio Holmes comes on the reverse, and the guys get out front, and he does a good job, good patience, and Santonio's a playmaker.
19-yard pickup there, and then Pittman's going to find a nice hole here.
Again, Antonio's got excellent vision, and that play was designed front side, and he saw the linebackers stepping over, and he did a good job there. And here you go see Troy stepping up. No one was open. We left an extra guy in to protect, and they covered the 3 that we sent out. So he knew no one was there, and he stepped up. Unfortunately, we got a hold of him.
Yeah, and then back to defense here. Anthony Schlegel played a pretty solid game here, chasing down the quarterback for a 7-yard loss.
Kept the contain on him, and now all of a sudden they're playing truly in the shadow of their goalpost, and we're going to end up with good field position because of where we kept them.
3-yard pickup there, and back on offense go the Bucs after that stop, and Troy's going to take off again here, and this is just coverage downfield, and off he goes.
Got to make sure he keeps that ball a little bit tighter for the old coach's welfare there. But again, good decision. No one will open, and then he handed it off there to Antonio Pittman, and again, good balance, good vision, and he believes he's going to gain yards.
And I think we showed these 3 in a row because 3 straight plays where you pick up 12 yards each play, 1 on the 3rd down, and obviously 2 first-down plays. Good yardage.
Yeah, that really is, and you need that kind of movement to go up and get points. And there's Mike Nugent again. What do you have, 3 field goals again today? And
3 he did.
He's the best kicker in the country.
Something special there. Nuge with a 35-yard field goal. 23-7 is the count, and D keeps coming.
A.J. Hawk with the pressure. Anthony Schlegel took the back, and no one there to block A.J. They came out running the option. Bobby Carpenter there and Nate Sally right there, and they had hurt a lot of teams with that option, and it was good to see that we stopped it. This is a little bit of a quarterback draw that we put in the game on a 3rd down and 3 or 4 there, and got the conversion. Then he came back and found Roy Hall there on a conversion.
14 yards on the pickup.
Again, good step up, good step up. I don't know that he ended up getting the first down here or not, but positive yards, no turnover, gaining field position. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Today. Also, Roy Williams, he's expected to start. And final word out of Minnesota is that Randy Moss is expected to start, play, maybe not full-time, but use him in the red zone, see how it goes early on.
All right, Jay, thank you so very much for the information, buddy. Up next, 10 yards with TB. And right now, let's bring in the sounds of the NFL right to your living room.
We gonna sit here, we can jump and holler all we want. But I'm telling you one thing, when they blow that whistle, we best go for 60 minutes. We got to have this damn thing. Hey, I'm afraid to lose. Let's go. I'm afraid to lose. We all are afraid to lose. That's why we busted ass how we are. Now let's get out here. Let's get this damn thing done. Let's get the job done. All right, do your jobs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we gonna come out with a victory, baby. Bitch, get your man right. Have faith. Let's go, baby. Woo! 6 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's ride.
20 million people.
Lady, she said, baby, she said, you gonna do that Warren Sapp thing? I said, yes, I am. She said, I just love him. So, Mama, this is for you, Warren Sapp. Lombardi or Walsh?
Lombardi.
Yeah.
Lombardi.
Definitely.
All day. The trophy's named after him. That makes it easy.
Celebrating a sack or celebrating a touchdown?
Sack. Way easier.
The Hawaiian coast or the Florida coast?
Is it a trick question?
Could be.
That's a trick question. How about Florida? Florida.
Singing or dancing?
Oh, dancing. Dance all night.
I know.
I couldn't hold a note in the bucket, so it's got to be dancing.
Boxers or briefs?
Neither nor.
Are you?
We call it free balling in the South.
Oh, do you?
Free balling.
I don't know what it meant.
Free balling.
Yeah. Commando.
Commando.
Getting fined by the NFL or getting punked by Ashton Kutcher. By the way.
Punked by Kutcher. Punked by Kutcher is less expensive.
All right, I know the answer to this one. Being nice, or being honest?
Honest.
Yeah.
Honest.
Entrance or exit?
Entrance. Nothing like making an appearance.
Miss USA judge or judging in a court of law?
Miss USA. Yeah.
But you majored in criminology, right?
Yeah. But that still doesn't trump Miss USA.
Reggie White or Howie Long?
Reggie White.
We can't play this one. You know how Howie is. Can you change your answer just for Howie? Just say Howie. Say Howie. For me, I got to work with him. Just say Howie Long. Say Howie Long.
Howie Long.
That's good.
All right. Looking out for your guy on TV.
That's good. Mama, I hope you enjoyed that. That's pretty good.
Novice Genoa.
Novice Genoa from Hall Summit, Louisiana. That was for you, Mama.
I'd pick Reggie, too.
Jimmy, let me go to you first.
Yeah.
Last-minute thoughts. Philadelphia at Cleveland. Last-minute thoughts.
Well, you know, of course, Cleveland's struggling except for the running game, and we're going to find out just how good this Philadelphia defense is against the run. You know, if Cleveland's able to pound the ball, and keep it away from Philadelphia, maybe they make a game of it.
Well, you know, a lot's been made of the fact that Philadelphia struggled a little bit offensively. If you consider Terrell Owens having 3 catches for 100-plus yards and Westbrook breaking a big 45, 48-yard run at the end of the game. I think the big difference with this football team is they no longer need to rely on that defense. That defense is getting used to playing with a lead. They're more of a balanced.
Where the corners come up and the safeties roll over. I think this is perfect for McNabb to get back on track because you use your back down the middle and your tight end Lewis down the middle, and I think it's a perfect setup for the Eagles today.
So now if he mentions a balanced football team, why wouldn't the concept of a balanced football
Well, beer and caviar is not balanced.
That doesn't balance?
No, that doesn't balance.
Well, Jimmy says
champagne.
Those of you getting an early game, we'll see you later. Others will be coming back here. Jimmy say.
Thanks, Dad.
Your little girl. Not so little anymore. Are you ready for this? Now you can be. See your State Farm agent and plan your financial future with the company you trust. We live where you live.
Bye, Dad.
It's nice to know as the world speeds by, the clothes you love can stop